skills on the platform. What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another one. Today's lesson is going to be on the law of irrationality. The law of irrationality. Um, I've been moved by the spirit to do certain types of lessons because we gotta be we gotta be re-educated. A lot of us must be re-educated because we see a lot of people doing irrational things. They're speaking irrationally, they're doing things irrationally. Um, and as a whole of society, a lot of us are just not getting any kind of results in our lives, and then we wonder what's going on. you know we start to realize things at a later age in life, and that's not how it should be. We're supposed to be able to learn certain things at a young age, at a young age, teenage years, uh you know going into our 20s. We possibly making a little bit more, making some mistakes, but we're supposed to be getting that thing in order by the time we turn 21, 22. We shouldn't be making too many mistakes by the time we turn age 21 and 22, because by the time we turn 25, we pretty much should have a good a good basis for life and how to move forward to better ourselves. Um, you know, there's other parts of the world where people are, younger people are getting more done than here in the Western world. Um, you know, it's considered the most advanced part of the world, but if we do our research, we're not as advanced as we think. There's smaller countries that are doing much better than we are if we really look at the numbers. And we all know that when it's all said and done, men lie, women lie, the numbers don't. They tell the absolute truth. So let's go ahead and get into this. The law of irrationality. I just wrote down some notes here, so I'm going to be going over these notes with you guys. All right. So bear with me. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, the law of irrationality um, is master your emotional self. Master your emotional self. In short, we're emotional creatures, yet we're often blind to our own impulses, because becoming aware of your own irrationality, then train yourself to learn and manage them through introspection and reflection. So there is going to be some work that needs to be done on oneself. So you can't look at the exterior world and say, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, so why can't I do it? That's a child state of mentality. That's someone that thinks as a child. The scriptures teach that, as a child, I think as a child, but when I grow up, I become an adult and I do things of an adult. I do adult things, not in those words per se, but you get the drift. Once you reach a certain age or even a certain mindset, it's happening a lot younger these days. People are coming to their senses uh quicker. The generation of today, a lot of them are doing more than the generation previously at a younger age. So so once again, the law of irrationality. So introspection and reflection. So there's going to be some inner work that needs to be done, because there are certain things that we may not have gotten in elementary school, middle school, high school, even in college. There's certain definitions and understandings that we just didn't grasp in entirety. We just kind of got by with a grade, like, okay, I passed, with a C or a B or even an A for that matter, but didn't fully understand what you were studying at the point in time. So there's something that you missed. So I'm thinking that what I know is that we have to be able to have a proper foundation, because if we don't have a solid foundation, we have nothing to stand on. If we have nothing to stand on, what's going to happen? We're going to fall. Simple. Now, to break this down, I broke down the word law and, of course, irrationality. So the word law is defined as according to the etymology dictionary. As I told you guys in previous videos, that I look up words through the etymology dictionary. It's the Etymon online dictionary, which gives you the original meaning to words back when they originally were created. So once you get the original meaning of the words, because throughout history, words change. They change according to definition, different dictionaries, and things of that nature, and it's done for deception purposes. So we need to know the original meaning of words, and we can look up the current meaning of words, so that way we can see the difference in the change. It's not no one's job but our own to be able to do those things and have to do that research. So we need to take the extra time to search words by the proper definition, so that way we have a full understanding of what it means. So that way we're not out here just thinking something means something and we're behaving a certain way because we think a word means something. You know, I could give a word out to 100 people, and hey, everybody write down. Don't look at no dictionary. Don't look at anything. Write down that word based on what you mean. I bet you probably get 100 different answers, or you're gonna get a lot of different answers. So we all have to be on one accord. So you can't think a word means something, and I think a word means something, and we go about life, having that understanding that a word means something. In actuality, one of us don't have the correct definition of what it means. So that becomes a problem down the road. Because if we encounter one another, you have a definition, I have a definition, we're gonna bump heads. So now we got to take it to the source. What does the word actually mean? So that way we can be corrected and we can both move forward together and with the proper definition of what things actually mean. So law, it's a noun. It's an ordinance, a rule prescribed by authority, regulation, district governed by the same law, also something right, quote unquote, right. Okay, we have right and wrong. Measure, literally, something laid down, that which is fixed or set. It's fixed or set, law. So that means that the law of 1 plus 1 equals 2. If anybody says any other answer besides that, they're absolutely incorrect. They're wrong. Simple. You can't refute the fact that 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's something universal across the board. Everyone knows 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay, let's move on. Also, in physics, a proposition which expresses the regular order of things from 1660s. All right, the proper order of things, the regular order of things. So there has to be order, because if you don't have order, it's disorder. If you don't have order, it's disorder. Then people wonder why their life is in shambles. They wonder why they're not getting results in their life. They wonder why things are not going right, because you're out of order. You're going to be able to know people by the fruit. And I use that term a lot, by the fruit that they bear. What's in a person's mind is going to come out. Now, just moving along here. it kind of just took me into a linear um, words that relate and correlate to law and irrationality. So irrationality, it's a noun. 1560. Originally in mathematical sense. Mathematical here now. We're talking about math. Like I said, it's not even not what I said, but it's universal. Math is what's true. Math tells the truth. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So, the originally in mathematical sense from irrational meaning unreasonableness. There's no reason behind it. It's unreasonable. Absurdity is from 1640. To dispel bewilderment, remove irrationality. To dispel bewilderment, remove irrationality. What's bewilderment? Let's look that up real quick. Bewilderment. Bewilderment. Okay, the definition for bewilderment is you all can look this up. You can follow along with me. Bewilderment. We got to get back to the basics, people, because common sense is just not so common. Okay, bewilderment. The quality or state of being lost. Ooh, there it is right there. The quality or state of being lost, perplexed, or confused. The quality or state of being bewildered. She started at them in bewilderment. She stared at them in bewilderment. So, it's like people look at you like, what are you talking about? It's people are lost by people's actions, behaviors, and conversations in a lot of cases because people are not making any sense. The state of being lost. Now, it also ties in with the word brute. Brute as an adjective, early 15th century. Of or belonging to animals. So when you're irrational, when you're a brute, you're lost. You're like an animal, non human. From Old French, a brute, coarse, brutal, raw. Crude, from Latin, brutus. Heavy, dull. Stupid, insensible. You don't have any sense. Like I said, common sense is not so common. You would think, but it's just not. People are not taught correctly. People were raised wrong. If your parents didn't know the right thing to do and their life is not, politically correct, or they don't have nothing going for themselves, in a lot of cases they're going to pass that on to their child. They're going to pass the irrationality on to the child, and the child will grow up to be irrational also. They'll think they're correct because the way their mother taught them. People have they think they're successful because they know how to go get a paycheck and pay bills and things of that nature. But hey, people are successful in their own mind. If they feel like they're successful, who am I to tell them that they're not successful? But certain certain ways people live their lifestyle, you can just simply see that this person is just simply irrational. Irrational people know how to work, and get things to done to a certain degree. But once again, you find yourself in positions on a consistent basis where you're just not able to get things, uh, follow through with things. There's always some type of problem because you're irrational. Raw, crude, stupid, insensible, unreasonable. The source also of Spanish and Italian bruto, said to be heavy. Before reaching English, the meaning expanded to of the lower animals. Used in English of human beings from 1530s. Lower animals, a brute, irrationality. They're like an animal. Wanting in reason, blunt or dull, of sentiment, unintelligent. Unintelligent. Being irrational is unintelligent. We have a brain. That's what keeps us above the animals of the field, is that we have a brain. We're considered the top of the food chain. So that means that if you're not using your full mental capacity on a regular basis, it's like you're just saying that you're like an animal in the field. It's like you deserve to be slaughtered like an animal. You don't know how to act right. You don't know how to behave. Animals get slaughtered and eaten. We're at the top of the food chain. So you're either at the top of the food chain or you're not. Unintelligent. In the sense in brute force is irrational, purely material. We were created in the likeness and image of the Most High. Gods and goddesses on this planet. And I can't stress that enough. Gods and goddesses on this planet. So we're supposed to behave accordingly. You can't just go out here and just make things up as you go along. There's certain order. There's order in this life. And no one's better or above anyone else. So you're expected to act accordingly. Or you can end up slaughtered like a beast in the field. A brute remains nearest to the distinguishing difference between man and beast. Distinguishing difference between man and beast. Irrationality, brutish, is especially uncultured. Look at that. Wasn't taught. Uncultured means a lot of people are just not taught. Parents didn't raise you right, or you didn't take the initiative. If you realize that your parents didn't raise you right and didn't teach you anything, you're supposed to take the initiative to try to figure it out for yourself, because we have a brain. We're not supposed to be behaving in any kind of way based upon our feelings the way I feel. That's irrational. That's childish. Let me read that again. Brute remains nearest to the distinguishing difference between man and beast. Irrationality, brutish, especially uncultured, stupid, groveling. Brutal implies cruelty or lack of feelings. a brutal language or conduct. So, lack of feelings. So, there's something that you don't have if you run around acting irrational, doing irrational things, behaving irrationally. Something that's not quite there. So, how do you solve that? How do you regulate the fact that you just may be irrational? That's the topic of today. It was the law of irrationality. Are you irrational? I think you know now. So there's no excuse moving forward. There's no excuse moving forward. You need to do some introspection and reflection and look at yourself and examine yourself, men and women. We're supposed to be doing great things in this life. But if you're acting like an animal, how are you going to do something great or accomplish anything great in your life? Animals live day by day. They don't know what's going to happen on the next day. We kind of don't know what's going to happen, but at least we can prepare to the point where we can have things. Uh, we can have things that we're supposed to have. There's nothing on this planet that's really too good for us, but you have to plan for it. You have to prepare for it. You have to use your brain and your mind to its fullest capacity to be able to accomplish things in your life. Irrationality, the law of irrationality. We got to really do better, people. We do. A lot of us didn't have the privilege of having mother and father in our household. Um, Even some people that have the mother and father household still running around irrational. So we can't go back and blame our parents for our state as adults. It's our job to be able to correct that. Or we're just going to sit there and pass on generational curses to our children where they're going to grow up to be irrational and they're liable to be taken down in the world as a beast. Because if an animal rushes you, they're not rational. And an animal attacks you, if you're prepared, you're going to lay that animal down by any means. Shoot them, stab them, whatever it may be, because they're an animal. They're not thinking. They don't really necessarily have a mind. They react off instincts. But we have a higher understanding as people. So we're supposed to do better because we are better. So that's it, people. Just wanted to share this lesson with you guys today on the law of irrationality. Like, comment, subscribe. Also hit that bell notification for future lessons like this. I got a lot more where this came from, people. I probably got like maybe about 5-10 years of material. We can go on for some time. So I'm gonna continue to bring these lessons because we need them. A lot of us, like I said, we weren't brought up right. So this is just the start to start helping serve people. I'm probably not gonna reach a lot of people with this. But if I can just reach one person for them to get this understanding, I did my job. Thank you. Peace, YouTube.